You eat dinner at 6 because that's how it just works in America. You go to bed tired and you wake up tired. I got something completely wrong about what happens to your body when that changes. Now I eat dinner at 8. My sleep is the best it's been in years, and I didn't go on a diet. I didn't cut anything out. The food here is different too, and my body noticed. I moved to Spain at 51. 9 months in, what I got wrong is probably not what you're expecting. And by the end of this, you'll have a different answer to the question you keep asking yourself about whether you're ready. One of the surprises has nothing to do with Spain. And the thing I had most wrong wasn't about Spain at all either. It was about belonging. So I was wrong about that. What I found here is different from anything I've had before. I showed up to a paddle game not knowing a single person or really how to play paddle. But women were there from Denmark, Poland, Ireland, England, Spain, every country you can think of. And by the end of that afternoon, nobody was rushing to leave. €3 for a glass of wine and 2 hours of conversation that had no agenda. When everyone in the room chose to leave their old life, nobody has anything left to protect. The audition is over. Everyone there has chosen to be there. And that one thing changes people in a way I just didn't expect. I don't know if that's a Marbella thing, a Costa del Sol thing, a what happens when you stop performing the life that wasn't working thing, but I have not once missed that version of socializing I left behind. My kids, for what it's worth, adapted so quickly, much faster than I expected, even at the ages that they are. Even in the middle of what should have been the hardest transition of their teenage years. That part I definitely got right. And there was one conversation with a Spanish woman that reframed the whole reason I ended up here at all. My husband and I had originally planned to make this move after our kids finished high school. That was definitely the plan. And then we stopped waiting for the plan. We moved ahead of schedule without everything figured out, just because we decided. A Spanish woman I've gotten to know here, someone who has built a genuinely very impressive life. When she heard we'd done it that way, she looked at me and said, "That's very American." It was a compliment. She meant decisive, bold, done. I don't think it had anything to do with the personality. It was just a decision, and decisions don't require a finished plan. So not every American has it in them. It had nothing to do with where you're from. It has everything to do with getting to a point where waiting stops making sense. So if you're watching this, you might be that person, the one who moves without a full plan, the one who figures out the exit while they're already in the roundabout. I love the roundabouts here, by the way. They're amazing. There are hardly any traffic lights. And if you make a wrong turn, you just stay in it until you find the right exit. Now, the thing I assumed would be the hardest part, the one that comes up in every comment on every Spain video I've ever watched, is the language. So you're telling yourself you need to be fluent before you go, that you'll never really integrate without it. I'm not fluent, not even close, and I integrate just fine. This is specific to the Costa del Sol. This is not small town rural Spain. The international community here is large and navigable in English. I'm not going to tell you language doesn't matter. It definitely does, poco y poco. I pick up more every week, and I use far less charades than I did in month 1. But the wall I imagined, the one that was going to keep me permanently on the outside, it's just not there. And if this is the honest version you've been looking for, subscribe, because that's how it finds the next woman who needs to hear it. Now, I want to show you something that still makes me stop. In California, I paid $112 a month for internet with Comcast. I paid $83 a month for TV, and then I paid $3 a month to Verizon for 4 mobile phone lines. Add those up, and you're over $500 a month before you've called anyone. Here, one bill, €67 a month. Internet, data, 4 phone lines. Each one comes with 1,000 international phone minutes a month, all of it included. Every monthly expense I have here, rent, utilities, food, haircuts, all of it are broken down in my Spain Clarity Guide. So link is below. But the number itself isn't the point. The point is what it all means. The thing most people worry about when they think about moving abroad is staying connected to the people they love. It's already paid for. It's not a trade-off. It's just math that comes out differently than you expected. And while we're on the topic of things that nobody mentions, if someone asks to meet you in the morning here, they mean 11 o'clock. 9 a.m. would be considered aggressive. I did not know this. I know it now. So none of that though. Not the cost, not the ease, not the social world. Prepared me for what happened to my body, which brings me back to where I started. Here, breakfast is between 8 and 10, lunch starts at 2, and dinner at 8. I did not think that my body would accept this. I thought I'd be hungry at the wrong times, exhausted, and completely off schedule. My kids brought extra lunches to school during the first month. Their American stomachs had not caught up on that schedule yet. And then something just shifted. It's like my body was always running on the wrong clock. It wasn't broken, it just set the wrong time zone. So when the schedule lines up with the light, something just unclenches. I'm not talking about a glass of wine helped kind of sleep. Real sleep, the kind I'd forgotten was possible. That low grade, end of the day exhaustion I had completely normalized, it's gone. There is no going back to 6 o'clock dinners. My body has no interest in that schedule anymore. So now let me tell you about the moment I knew this was the right call. There wasn't one. There were about 100 small ones. I do want to be straightforward because I do miss the people that we left. And that part doesn't go away. And then I go and I put my feet in the Mediterranean Sea after a morning workout and I just realize how lucky I am. It's not planned. It's just because it felt good. My paddleboard on a Tuesday, 1 hour on the water because I was in the mood. It's not an event. It's not an excursion. It's just 1 hour. Last week I had breakfast with my daughter. She got a smoothie. I got a large cafe con leche. She got avocado toast with tomato spread, and I got a goat cheese and spinach quiche. 2 people, 16 euros. Everything exactly as it should be. A €3 glass of wine after a paddle game, surrounded by women from 6 different countries who weren't strangers by the time we left. That's what 9 months looks like. I thought it would take years to find my people. Wrong. I thought the language would definitely be a wall. Wrong. I thought my body would never adjust to eating dinner at 8. Wrong. I thought I needed to wait till the plan was perfect before I could go. That one might have been the most wrong of all. Before you close this, I want you to name one thing you've been waiting to have figured out before you let yourself look at this seriously. Not out loud, just to yourself. One thing you keep moving to the other side before you give yourself permission to go. Name it, because the woman in that roundabout doesn't stop. She just finds the right exit. What time do you eat dinner? Drop it below. I read every comment. If this is the first honest version of Spain life you've found, I made a whole video about the things nobody warned me about before I moved. And it's the one I wish had existed before I came here. I'll link it right here. Subscribe if this is the honest version you've been looking for. That's how it finds the next woman who needs to hear this. See you next time.